Hi, this is Josh from Final Scan Pro. In this video, I'll explain everything you need to know about plagiarism. By the end, you'll know exactly how to recognize it and avoid it. So what exactly is plagiarism? Plagiarism is when you use someone else's words, ideas, or work without giving them proper credit. And it's not always intentional. A lot of people do it without even realizing. That's why understanding plagiarism is so important. Plagiarism isn't just one thing, it comes in different forms. There are 6 main types that you should know about: complete plagiarism, direct plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism, accidental plagiarism, self-plagiarism, and duplicate submission plagiarism. Let's go through each one. So what is complete plagiarism? Complete plagiarism happens when someone submits an entire piece of work created by someone else as their own. For example, taking an assignment written by a friend, putting your name on it, and submitting it as if you wrote it yourself. This is considered the most serious form of plagiarism. So what is direct plagiarism? Direct plagiarism happens when someone copies a piece of text word for word from a source without giving proper credit. Here, I'm copying a passage from another paper and dropping it straight into my own work without quotation marks or a citation. This is exactly what direct plagiarism looks like. So what is paraphrasing plagiarism? Paraphrasing plagiarism happens when you rewrite a piece of text but don't change the wording or structure enough. Or when you paraphrase and forget to cite the original source. For example, here we've paraphrased the text, but only swapped a few words and kept the sentence mostly the same. On top of that, we didn't cite the original source. That's still plagiarism. Even when you put ideas into your own words, you must always cite the original source. In this version, the idea is rewritten properly in new words and structure, and the source is clearly cited. That's how paraphrasing should be done. Next up is accidental plagiarism. This happens when you plagiarize without meaning to. For example, you might forget to add a citation, cite the wrong source, miss quotation marks, or leave your reference list incomplete. Even though it's unintentional, it's still considered plagiarism, which is why it's so important to keep track of your sources and double-check your citations before submitting your work. So what is self-plagiarism? Self-plagiarism happens when you reuse your own previously submitted or published work without proper permission or citation. For example, copying parts of an old paper into a new one without acknowledging it. You might ask, it's my work, why can't I reuse it again? The reason is that once your paper is published, the copyright often belongs to the publisher, not you. So even though it's your own work, it's still considered plagiarism unless you clearly cite it or get approval from the publisher. What is multiple submission plagiarism? This happens when you submit the same work to more than one place without permission. For example, turning in the same assignment for 2 different classes, or submitting the same paper to multiple journals at the same time. Most journals make it clear that submissions must be original and not under review elsewhere. So doing this can lead to rejection or serious academic consequences. So don't do it. It can land you in serious trouble. Now that we know what plagiarism is, let's look at the different levels of plagiarism and the consequences that come with each one. Most universities classify plagiarism into 3 levels: minor, moderate, and major. Let's start with the minor offences. These usually involve small or unintentional mistakes, like incorrect citations or paraphrasing errors. While they might seem minor, they're still taken seriously and can lead to warnings and mandatory referencing workshops. Next are moderate offences. These involve more serious issues, such as copying paragraphs from another source or failing to cite key references. At this level, the consequences become much stronger. Penalties can include receiving a 0 for the assignment, failing the module, or even having your degree classification downgraded. Finally, we have major offences. These are the most serious cases of plagiarism, such as buying essays, copying entire assignments, or submitting AI-generated work without disclosure. The consequences here can be severe. Penalties may include suspension or expulsion, having your degree withheld or delayed, or being placed on academic probation. I hope you found the video useful. Finally, before submitting your work, don't forget to run it through Final Scan Pro. Just drag and drop your document and let Final Scan Pro check it for you. You'll receive a Turnitin style similarity report with all issues clearly highlighted and color-coded. You'll also get a revision report with suggestions to fix the issues quickly. Apply the recommended changes, recheck if needed, and you'll have a clean, original paper ready to submit. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please drop a message below. Bye for now.